Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first edition of Story Hour with Uncle Doug, who just took a rub-a-dub in the tub with Uncle Doug. So I'm feeling fresh and clean, ready to tell a story.
Hey, Robot Daddy.
Why, yes, Robot Son.
Can you tell me the story of Jesus?
Oh, sure. I can tell you all about Jesus, sure. Oh, back in 080 or whatever, back in Jewish Palestinian landy over there. He used to have to go up on the temple there, and they'd have to buy all the God merch, the beads and all that crap. And the Pharisees, they'd tell you if you could pray to God or not, or go into the temple or not, and stuff like that. It was a whole thing. And Jesus was like, well, that's kind of stupid, Yeah, anybody can pray to to God if they want to. You don't have to go talk to those jerks.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, hell, why not?
But I don't really believe in God.
Yeah, I don't really believe in God either, but, according to that, you pray to a bag of peanuts if you want. Sometimes I do that. Pray they don't choke me when I'm eating them.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay, there we go. So now that we're past that part. So they had him killed because they didn't like him and shit. Fast forward about 400 years, this emperor of Rome, Constantine, I think his name was, something like that, said, I need a new god to help me win this war against the whoever was. And I'm going to try that Jesus god stuff. And so he prayed to Jesus and he won the war.
Wow. Jesus must be a powerful motherfucker.
Well, Jesus really wasn't that powerful at the time, but I guess the Roman emperor kind of got lucky and just picked the right, picked a religion that day and won. I guess it could have been any of them, but, well, we got Christianity. So he said, okay, all of Rome is now going to be Christian.
But why? People had other cool religions that they were looking at and they liked it too.
I know other people had cool religions that they were dealing with, that they liked and they were perfectly happy with. But, Romans were like, no, screw that. We're going to burn all of your pagan crap and, put it into the fire pit of history so that nobody knows anything about it anymore. And we all have to guess what rocks are and stuff like that with weird inscriptions on that we don't understand anymore because, well, the Romans and Jesus' army and shit decided to burn all that stuff.
Well, that's really sucky and stupid.
I agree. That was really sucky and stupid. I don't really blame it on Jesus. I don't think he did it. This is 400 years later. But anyway, these jackasses came up into my neck of the woods up in Great Britain and Ireland and Sweden and Germany. We're up making big old circles out of stones and calling ourselves druids and shit. And reading runes and, worshiping goats and shit like that. And we were all perfectly happy. But then the Romans came up and they said, knock, knock, knock. And I was like, yeah. Roman soldiers here. And I'm like, yeah. Can we come in for a minute? Okay, sure. We're just having dinner here with my kids and the grandparents and stuff. Okay. Just letting you guys know you're Christian now. And then so I get up off the table while I'm eating my dinner, and I'm feeling kind of pissed off because he interrupted my dinner to tell me this. I said, the fuck I'm a Christian? I'm a goddamn pagan. And then he tied me up in the corner and while the kids and the family were watching and stuff. And he said, hey, kids. And they were all like,
Hi, Mr. Roman soldiers.
you're going to be Christian now, okay?
We don't really like to be Christian. We're more of a pagan family.
Yeah, I know you're more of a pagan family, but here, look what we're going to do to your dad. And then they go, whack, and cut off his head, and his blood's squirting out all over the place in front of the kids, and they're screaming, what you doing, Daddy? Ah! And the women are going, oh my God! Oh my God! Ah! And then the Roman soldiers say, shut up! And they go, okay. And they're like, who do you worship now? And they're like, praise Jesus. And the Roman soldier's like, yep, you got it.
So you just say praise Jesus and then they don't kill you?
Yeah, pretty much. Say pray Jesus, they won't kill you. But, You know, a lot of us dudes, we were like, fuck that shit. We don't like Jesus. We like our old thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Like, why? You know, who the hell is this Jesus? I never heard of this shit. You know, I just want to build stone circles and like figure out when the moon comes over, whenever, and read runes and I don't know, maybe kill a wolf and sacrifice it and eat it or something.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Well, I'm vegetarian now. I probably wouldn't do that, but back then I probably would. So, hey, yeah. Now you'd think they'd stop there, right? They got Europe. Nope.
Where'd they go?
Where'd they go?
Yeah, where'd they go?
Well, hell, they went everywhere.
What?
Well, you're in the United States, and apparently we're a Christian nation.
No, we're not.
Well, according to that guy down the street with me with a Christmas tree flag saying something about this being a Christian nation, he thinks so.
He's full of shit.
Yeah, I know he's full of shit. I tell him that all the time when I drive by, but he gets pissed off. Anyway, so no, the Christians said, fuck it. We got a big army now. Let's take over the fucking world. So Jesus and his army, boy, they shot out of every port of Europe, went all over the world, doing the same shit to everybody else, cutting their heads off if they didn't believe in Jesus, and giving them diseases, and wiping out their old religions and traditions, and making sure nobody had any clue what their whole civilization was before they destroyed them with disease and slaughter. Because, you know, if you don't know Jesus, you don't accept Jesus, you're not a whole person.
What?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, if you're not a Jesus believer, you're kind of like an animal, so you can just get slaughtered.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, oh shit is right. Well, they don't really do that too much anymore. They kind of do in some places and keep it secret under the guise of missionary work.
Missionary work?
Yeah, missionary work. It's where they go over to these poor countries and pretend to be helping them. And you give them a bunch of money and shit and food, and then they go, hey, guess what? Now you're Christian. And they go, no, we're not. And they're like, well, we could just kind of take this food and everything and kind of bring it over to this country if you prefer. Oh, cool. I mean, praise Jesus. Yeah, can you leave that food right over there? It'd be great.
Wow. What a scam.
I know it's a fucking scam, but that's just how it works now. Hey, it's better than slaughtering everybody. Now, speaking of that, the Islamics, and I don't know, sometimes in the early 1000s, this guy Muhammad was born, and he said, dang, look what they did up there in Europe, uniting it all up and stuff like that and taking over the world. I'll bet you if we had our own Jesus and just called Yahweh Allah, we could do the same thing, and I'll be the new Jesus.
Wow. What a good idea.
Yeah, it was a pretty good idea, all right. So they did the same thing, and they slaughtered everybody else, called them infidels, cut their heads off, and destroyed their cultures and shit. And they're all currently still at war with each other, including the Israelis and the Palestinians, who still can't agree on whose holy land is holier. So, that was story time for today, kids. And I hope you enjoyed.
Thanks, Daddy.
Thanks, robot kids. You're my only friends.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Daddy. Yeah, we're robot kids. We love you. We love you so much.
Yeah, I love you too, robot kids. Okay, tune in next time for Story Hour with Uncle Doug after a rub-a-dub. See you next time, kids.